Okay, welcome to an oral history of the common folk. My name is William, and I'm joined by my co-host Nuke. Say hello, Nuke.
Hello.
Also, my guest today is Cactus, and we're going to be talking about the Elder Scrolls. Take it away, Cactus.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to like technical gameplay or like lore?
Um, how about like a personal connection? Why do you like the Elder Scrolls so much?
I mean, I guess probably just because when I was younger, I used to sit behind my older brother like a little goblin and watch him play Morrowind and Daggerfall for fucking hours at a time. Just never say a word, never say a peep, never ask to play. Just watch him and fuck, it was like, whoa, games are this big and crazy. I can only play Mario.
That's like the original streamer experience, I feel, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
it's like watching someone older than you play a game that you have no idea how to play.
so I'm assuming like when you finally did get your hands on playing Elder Scrolls, you're like, wow, I'm just like
I'm
my older brother. Or how'd it go down?
I mean, I think the first time I had like a go at one of the Elder Scrolls games was Oblivion, and that was after my older brother had moved out and kind of stopped playing. So after watching him kind of like through my little kid vision for so long, I'm like, oh well, yeah, this is more like a video game and not like some big epic story.
Hmm.
But that's and just pick up every book and never read any of them. And
Yeah.
little gameplay goblin at the time. And I think as I got older, I got a little more into all of the stories and the characters and just realized they put so much effort into these to make them feel like a real world.
You
So
stopped paying attention to the game and started paying attention to the world it was in.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Skyrim came out, and I everyone who had played Morrowind and or Morrowind and Oblivion and were kind of disappointed by how shallow Skyrim was. I was just hyped to see all the new people and hear what they had to say.
what's your favorite Elder Scrolls game?
Probably Skyrim, just because I've played it the most, but
So maybe like on a more technical standpoint,
definitely.
what would you think is the best game? Like when I say technical, I mean story and atmosphere and just ambiance, maybe.
I mean, if you strip away like all of the graphics and it's just straight down to like what the game has to offer, probably have to go with Morrowind just because of the setting and the just it's so bleak and depressing and foreign, and it looks so much different than most fantasy things you would experience.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, just like, so you picture fantasy, you probably think of like stone castles and green fields
Orcs, elves, the whole
most of
shebang.
the time. And then you go in, yeah, orcs, elves, all that. And you go into Morrowind, and it's just this little volcanic island covered in giant mushrooms and weird, floaty, alien looking things. And it doesn't like hit the chord with high fantasy right away. But then the more you experience and the more you're like, oh, this totally could just be like some weird mushroom island in a D&D setting. And
So so what's the story of Morrowind? Because I've never played it.
Morrowind, you're like, so there who weren't too happy with the god that made the dark elves, and they kind of wanted to become gods themselves. And then after they ascend to the godhood and stuff, the
Friend, you keep cutting
them
out.
is killed by them. Oh, that better?
Yeah.
You might have to restart. A lot was cut out.
Yeah.
Um, the game kind of like starts off giving you like the backstory of these three dark elves who betrayed the patron god of the dark elves and ascended to godhood themselves. And there was this one other elf who tried to stop them, and they kill him. So the god of the elves like basically just sets up a prophecy, and the guy named the elf who tried to stop the other ones was named Nerevar. And there's a prophecy saying that he'll be reincarnated in the Nerevarine, and that's the player character. So you're kind of just show up on Morrowind on a boat, and then start doing your own thing, and eventually you figure out, oh, I'm the chosen one. I should probably try and save the continent.
Mm.
But is that thing about
You're cutting
there's so
out.
much content that you could do
Trying
that
really hard not to laugh at the.
Keeps cutting
even
out.
if you didn't want to be the chosen one. You think.
Hmm. So a big aspect of the Elder Scrolls series has been like the freedom of choice. Is
Oh yeah.
Morrowind? Do you think Morrowind has more of that, and that's why you like it more, or?
I think so, because I think Morrowind was the last game that you could actually kill everybody. Is
Mhm.
in Oblivion they started like
Making key NPCs invulnerable and stuff.
NPCs just get knocked out. Yeah, because back in Morrowind, all the key NPCs were just like normal people, and if you kill one of them, you just get a message on your screen saying, "Oh, you fucked up. Reload your save." Don't. And and even though like it says, "Oh, you won't be able to beat the quest if this person is dead," the game kind of just lies to you, and you can find a few other ways story points without do what it wants you to, which I think is I love just like the freedom to explore, run to the final boss at level 1 if you really want to.
Yeah.
Games like that have always been my favorite.
So you're telling me it's sort of like there's a bunch of puzzle pieces, and you could get to the solution right away, but the joy of the game is putting all the pieces together and finding out your own solution to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a great way of putting it.
Sort of like Outer Wilds, if you ever played that game.
Yeah, I played that a little bit.
Outer Wilds was a great
And
10
then
out of 10.
there's well, there's because Bethesda is known for their certain style of games. Like if you look at a Fallout game or an Elder Scrolls game, you can see the similarities between them just in the different setting. But one thing Bethesda is really good at is giving other people the tools to do what they want in their games, like the mods and all of that. Like that's the main reason I feel like Skyrim and Morrowind are just never gonna die as games
I heard that there's
because
a group of people that's trying to replicate both Morrowind and Oblivion in Skyrim as like mods.
That'd be really
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah, Sky Oblivion and Skywind.
Mm.
Mm.
I was actually watching the Sky Oblivion like developer gameplay demo that came out like yesterday, earlier today, and
How's
it
it look?
looks so good.
Really?
It looks amazing. It looks honestly like what I would have pictured Oblivion at when I first started playing as a little like a younger kid, because you know how like if you grew up on the Xbox 360 or you grew up on the GameCube, you think those graphics were like fucking top notch as a kid, and then when
Yeah.
you go
Mhm.
back,
Yeah.
The rose tinted glasses.
Well, it's like even as a kid, you
yeah,
would like
exactly,
see the Xbox and be like, "Wow, this is like almost like real life." Then you go back, it's like, "How did I ever think
exactly,
that?"
exactly. But the way it is looking so far, it's exactly what I remember Morrowind or Oblivion looking like as a kid, and that fucking trips me out.
So, what are some of your favorite mods in any of the Skyrim games or Elder Scrolls games?
Um, well, obviously, like the super crazy graphics upgrades are really cool, but more recently, I've just been trying to make Skyrim as realistic as possible.
Hmm.
So it's more of like a fantasy life simulator than an RPG.
How close can you get?
And I mean, I'm getting there. There's the needs mod, so you have to like eat and sleep and stuff. That one's pretty good. Frostfall for Skyrim, like have to worry about the cold and the wet, and and then just like even like some smaller ones. Like I think there's just a mod that adds like a bulletin board in front of the inns, and sometimes you'll find a quest, but most of the times it'll just be like little notes from the townspeople. I just think shit like that is so immersive and makes you
Yeah,
really feel like you're a part of the game.
yeah, no, for sure. The fact that in any uh Elder Scrolls game you can have the ability to change it to how you want, and like there's so many creative people out there that's like, oh, this game is missing this one aspect. Like, I'm gonna make the best mod I can to address this one issue.
To fill in the gap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they all fit together. Like, well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, like, I think a lot of the fun that I've had with modding Skyrim comes with like fitting all the mods together to make sure the game doesn't break. You know,
Mm.
because
Yeah, I would have to I would agree. Like crafting the perfect load order
yeah,
is
yeah,
a very big piece of satisfaction to me. Like getting all 300 of your mods running perfectly together and not
Jesus
crashing every
Christ.
yeah, for real.
time you walk through a door.
I mean, but some of the mods they make are just absolutely insane.
I'd have to
Oh
say
yeah.
that probably my favorite mod of all time is the one that turns the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine.
I was just about to mention that one. Yeah, like fucking I think the guy who made that name it was named Train Wiz.
So funny.
That's
Like he's
great.
made that and you'll oh, dude is just like a total fucking shitter. Like he's gonna replace the dragons with Thomas the Train. But then you look at some of the other mods he's made and they're fucking amazing. Like
What else does he have under his
he's
belt?
he has like uh I think it's like a Dwemer subway mod that just adds like train
So cool.
stations to Dwarven runes. So you have like
Oh,
a way of fast traveling with like an underground train tunnel instead of like having to open up the map and fast travel.
that sounds sick.
That's
It's
awesome.
so cool. And then he's done like a couple of like really well done quest mods that are like actually like could fit into the game.
Some people's creativity just
No
astounds me.
bounds.
Yeah, for real. The Doomer though, you mentioned those, so awesome. That has to be like one of my favorite um high fantasy braces. You know, like just
Yeah.
their story, their setting, everything about them, the
And they just
mysteriousness to them.
oh yeah, the dwarves in Skyrim and just Elder Scrolls are such a cool, mysterious like race because you've never got to see them in any of the games.
Yeah, but their
Because they're
their
just like,
presence is like everywhere. You know,
Yeah,
is it ever
there's just
explained why
really
they just poof?
no, I
yeah.
think that's part of the mystery, isn't it?
No, yeah, you know why they disappeared. You just don't know where where they went.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's right. They just left.
There was this guy, this dwarf named Kagranak, I think, and he was like the lead. Instead of like magicians, since like the dwemer are like advanced and like use machines, and they were just they're like, oh, there's no magic. Like if you can explain it, then it's just science. So they had like some like sound wizards, but like not really wizards because they knew how it worked and it was just science to them. Called tonal architects, and they could use like sound waves to build shit.
That's awesome.
damn.
And the lead tonal architect was messing around with the heart of a god, trying to like
Sorry about that.
gain some more power for the dwemer. And when he did his little experiment with Lorcan's heart, the fucking volcano on Morrowind erupted and they all poofed out of existence. And no one knows where they went.
Elder Scrolls 6.
I mean, probably not, but we'll find out in like 5 years.
Hmm.
I think you're being too generous.
I would like to see
Oh,
more of the Dwemer though. I
oh yeah,
remember
for sure.
very, very little of it because I played Skyrim in middle school and I really haven't played it since because I got it on the 360.
Mm.
And I only went into a single Dwemer ruin and there was this like really big mech, like robot
Oh
guard,
yeah,
and it
the Dwarven
floored me.
Centurion.
Yeah, it
The
floored me
Centurion.
so fast, and I just never touched another one of those ruins ever since.
That's one of like I feel like that's sort of like the magic of the Elder Scrolls games is you get slapped into a world that's so unknown, and every time you enter some place new, or every time you go into a ruin or a dungeon or something, it's there's always a sense of like excitement and oh no, what am I gonna find? I feel like a
Like,
lot of games these days are missing that. But
am
the
I gonna have a clean sweep, or am I gonna get floored by the first enemy I encounter?
yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
that's like another like especially like me playing with a bunch of realism mods. Like I have to approach each fight like an actual fight because just a little tiny bandit with a crappy crossbow can still kill me in one hit if he gets a headshot.
How do you go up against like the dragons and stuff? What do you do?
Very carefully, I'd assume.
Uh, I feel like I mean once you get like high level, I think because the way I play, dragons won't spawn until you're at least level 25 because it's also like you start in a random location and there's even the option to like make it so you can't be the dragonborn. You're just a normal dude and
Just the
it
guy.
Yeah, it completely locks you out of the main quest. You can't absorb souls.
It's kind of
Like,
awesome, actually.
yeah, like that's how I love to play. I love just being like starting off as like a hunter or a peasant or like an alchemist in the woods and building my character off of like some backstory and playing just trying to get all their character instead of just trying to do everything. I feel like that's a way more enjoyable way to play.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you're totally right. Like most games are like, oh, you are the chosen one, the savior of the realm and whatever. And here's all these like super critical quests you got to do. Uh, but they're,
It's like,
I,
what if I want to just do side quests and not have like the weight of the world on me?
yeah, exactly. What if I just want to like start a home? Okay, just
Exactly.
let me
Yeah.
do that. God damn it. Yeah. Um, but back to talking about like magic and the doomer, the uh, the link, any game that does like a good combination of like magic and science is so interesting to me. And
Yeah, I would have to agree.
and apart from like off the top of my head, I can't really think of any games other than the Elder Scrolls series that does it so well. You know?
Uh-huh.
I can't think of any other games that do it at all.
There's this one kind of old PC game I remember that's like kind of like Baldur's Gate. Let me what was it called? I don't it was like a steampunk magic game, kind of in the vein of like Baldur's Gate or like early Diablo or like early Fallout, like the top-down ones. And I that game enthralled me as a kid. It was another one that my brother owned that I was too young to figure out just because I didn't want to read.
I think it's like the aspect of we we know magic isn't real, but if you add science to it and you in a game shows that like science creates magic, like your brain's like, oh, like there could be a possibility that we could do that in the future, you know?
Yeah.
I,
Or
I
like
think
if we
one of
just
the
had the right technology to do it.
yeah, I think one of the favorite quotes I've ever heard is that sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Hmm.
I I love that one. I've heard that before and that stuck with me.
I just like the concept that like in this high fantasy world, which is usually like set in medieval times, there's some race that's figured out how to meld real life science with fantasy magic. And it's like, they did it. Why can't we? Why can't I lift shit with my mind or use like the power of sound to create cities or something
One day.
one day?
Not in our time, but one day.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know about
mean
you
like
guys though. Go ahead.
just in like what if there's like people out there like an alien race that's just going to come one day and they'll have technology that people here won't understand. It'll look like magic to everyone on Earth if they just randomly show up with like telekinesis beams.
Mm.
Yeah, but I feel like at this point we've sort of reached like critical mass almost of like this like magic. Magic
Yeah,
described as technology, you know?
yeah.
It's like if an alien came to us right now,
We could probably rationalize
yeah, like
it.
we know wormholes, we know, you know, the how to like fold space. We just don't have the ability to do it because we're missing one, you
Key
know.
piece.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the aliens figured it out before us.
Hmm.
Like even the stuff we have today. Like imagine going back to the Middle Ages, right? And showing some peasant a cell phone.
Oh yeah, they'd lose their mind.
You'd be burned at the stake so fast.
Well, it's sort of like Lovecraft does this a lot, but whenever like the whole point of like an eldritch being is that our brain literally can't conceive
Can't
it.
comprehend. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you would present a cell phone to a peasant, they just wouldn't see it. You know, they would have
Lovecraft
no concept of what it was.
Lovecraft's work is so like one of the things that I look back to and read more often than anything else, I think.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
just like the stories that are in that universe are just so captivating.
yeah, they
Oh,
are. But he was also a huge racist.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, that was just kind of the standard back then.
Yeah, but one of his stories is literally about like black people coming into his bedroom.
I think I remember
What?
that one.
Yeah, I
What?
I'm probably saying it wrong, but I know he has one like overtly racist story about African Americans and how much he hated them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but the thing about Lovecraft is I feel like while his stories were awesome, yes, they sparked the whole genre. It's like the whole culture that formed around this Eldritch theme.
Yeah,
That's what I really like.
yeah.
I mean, credit where credit's due. He did start it, and he did write some super awesome.
Twisted things.
Yeah,
I found the game I was talking about. Here's a link to it if you want to check it out.
and I think I've heard about that one.
Of Steamworks and Magic.
That's another thing is I'm really tired of seeing like steampunk or like another science and magic connection point is like the Eldritch beings. Like, have you guys played the Baldur's Gate series?
Yeah,
I have not.
I played Baldur's Gate 2.
Okay. Uh, like all of the Mind Flayer stuff, they're all aliens in that game, and they're all like a super advanced being, but their ships are all made out of like these uh almost like xenomorph style things, you know?
Uh,
So they're like living ships.
Yeah, I don't know if they're actually living, but they're made out of organic material.
that's
You
what
know what
like
I'm saying? It's like calcified organic material.
Hmm. Freaky.
have you
Yeah,
ever
like it's
played
freaky, but I'm so tired of that concept. I want the doomer where there needs to be
Dwemer.
a game just dwemer, sorry. There needs to be a game just about them.
I would agree. That would be like just like an Elder Scrolls backstory game about the Dwemer.
Where, like you are the guy that caused them to disappear. And
Oh,
it's a story.
going back to Skyrim real quick. Did you hear that a Skyrim mod is getting turned into its own game?
Really?
And it
Oh,
looked
the
the
Forbidden
Forgotten
City?
City?
Forgotten City. Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer for it looked amazing.
I saw a review for that one. And it's supposed to be like an Outer Wilds um sort of situation where you have like a certain amount of time to put the pieces of the puzzle together before the world resets.
Yeah. I played a little bit of the mod, but like before I knew it was getting turned into a game. And the mod is like this murder mystery in a Dwemer city that takes place across different timelines.
That's cool.
And I think it is dope. Like it was such a cool, well done mod. Fun fact, Skyrim is 60% off on Steam right now if anyone needs to pick it up.
Oh shoot.
Cool.
60% off. I might have
16
to do this.
bucks.
Um,
I am very tempted to get that because I've never had Skyrim on PC before.
you should not do Skyrim vanilla, but just go right ahead with a bunch of mods.
Yes, I don't know if either of you saw, I posted a link to this Skyrim mod pack that I started off on before adding a couple of more things to it, and that gets you pretty darn close to like a really cool, realistic
Huh.
experience.
Well, there you go.
Hmm.
Well, I'm talking for 30 minutes,
All right.
and I feel like this is a
This is probably a
natural,
pretty good place to end it.
natural conclusion. So
Yeah,
I want to thank you, Cactus, for coming on the podcast, and thank you, Brandon. You, sorry,
of
to
course.
to to be my co-host. Y'all have a good day.
For sure. I'll
Thanks.
probably be back.
Yeah, dude. Anytime. Anytime.
And remember, everybody, if you're watching this after it goes up, go get Skyrim.
Nice plug. See
Totally not
everybody.
sponsored by Todd Howard.
Man,
Todd
I
Howard,
wish.
is that you?
I wish.
Todd Howard, why are you in my room?